Exercise 2.2d. Questions 1 through 2. Listen to a discussion between two students.
That was a pretty good history lecture, don't you think?
Well, to be honest, I didn't understand what Dr. Marquez meant by partible inheritance, and it seems like that's an important thing to know.
Partible inheritance means that a man's property would be divided equally among all his children, after the man died, that is.
Oh, then what's primogeniture?
That's when all the property goes to the eldest son. Just think about the word primogenitor. Primo means one or first, right?
Right. Oh, I get it. Primogeniture is when the first son gets everything.
That's right.
Now it's starting to make sense.
Number 1. What are the students discussing? Number 2. What does primogeniture mean? Questions 3 through 5. Listen to part of a discussion in a business class. The professor is talking about small businesses.
Small business owners usually consider themselves successful when they can support themselves solely from the profits of their business. So why do so many small businesses fail each year? Well, for one thing, they usually face stiff competition from larger, more established companies. Large companies generally have cash reserves that enable them to absorb losses more easily than small firms can. Still, with the right combination of factors, a small business can do quite well.
My friend has a bicycle shop, and he runs the entire operation by himself. He buys the inventory, repairs bicycles, and sells to customers. He also builds the displays and cleans the shop. He does everything, and he manages to stay in business.
It is possible to make it, with hard work, good management, and a product or service for which there's a demand. A small business owner performs a lot of different tasks. It's absolutely essential to be a competent manager, as I'm sure your friend is. You also need to have a thorough knowledge of your field, a combination of formal education and practical training suited to your kind of business. To run a store, for example, you need to know how to keep track of your inventory, what you have to sell, and your accounts, so you need courses in accounting and business. Experience in retailing is helpful, too. Your primary responsibilities center on planning, management, and marketing, so organizational skills are a must. To keep your store in business, you have to adapt to changing market conditions. This means improving services or promoting your products in innovative ways.
Number 3. According to the professor, why do many small businesses fail? Number 4. According to the professor, what is essential for success as a small business owner? Number 5. What are 2 responsibilities of a store owner? Questions 6 through 10. Listen to a discussion between a student and a biology teaching assistant.
Hi, Gordon.
Hello, Julie. How are you?
Fine. I wonder if I could ask you a few questions.
Sure. What's on your mind?
Well, something happened. I saw something happen on a hike I did last weekend, and I was wondering if it sort of fit what we learned about muscle cells.
This sounds like it might be interesting. What did you see?
Well, I was hiking with my friend on the Desert Canyon Trail, and we ran into these 2 guys sitting by the side of the trail. It turns out they were part of a high school group. My friend and I stopped to talk to them, and it turns out that one of them was sort of having trouble. He said he'd been having leg cramps for about 5 hours.
Ooh, that's not good on the canyon trail.
I know. We asked if they had water and food, and they said a little, but their teacher went back to get some more. The guy with the cramps said he didn't feel like eating, so we gave them one of our water bottles, and we just went on. Later on the way back, we ran into them again. This time, the teacher and the ranger were there. The guy was eating saltine crackers. It turns out he skipped breakfast that day.
Well, that was a dumb thing to do. A strenuous hike in the desert is not the time to diet.
So I wondered if his muscle cramps were because of what we talked about in class, because lactic acid ferments when the cell has no oxygen?
I'd say that's what happened with this young man. Do you remember why it happens?
Well, I know that human muscle cells make ATP by lactic acid fermentation when oxygen is scarce. It's what happens during exercise, when ATP production needs more oxygen than the muscles can supply. The cells then have to switch from aerobic respiration to fermentation. This means lactate collects in the muscle as a waste product, and that causes muscle pain.
That's absolutely correct. And the young man made his problem worse by not eating after he first experienced cramps. He was simply out of fuel. His teacher did the right thing by getting him to eat something salty.
I guess it's important to balance food and water intake.
That's right. Well, Julie, it looks like you saw biology in action.
Yeah, it's cool. I can really understand what happened.
Number 6. What does the woman want to discuss with the teaching assistant? Number 7. Where did the woman meet the young man who had a problem? Number 8. What help did the young man receive? Number 9. Why did the young man experience muscle cramps? Number 10. What point does the teaching assistant make about what the woman saw?